Hey platform, I'm Lucy from the channel The Book Belle here on YouTube. I'm a London-based YouTuber and I mainly make videos about books. So I'm really excited to be on the Penguin platform channel today to talk all about books and more specifically, books about love. So when we think of love, we immediately think grand epic love story, heartbreak, loss, betrayal, and of course romance. But what I want to talk about is non-romantic love. And February is kind of the month of love with Valentine's Day. It does seem that romance is in the air, especially at this time of year. But as I said, I want to talk about non-romantic love. To be specific, I want to talk about books that kind of focus on sibling relationships, friendship, which I don't know about you, but friendship is often more tumultuous than an epic love affair. I want to talk about 4 books in particular that have some of my favourite non-romantic relationships in them. The first being North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. So North and South is one of my favourite books of all time. It is a well-loved classic. Elizabeth Gaskell was a brilliant novelist, and North and South in particular, it's set in a small town called Milton, and it focuses on a character called Margaret Hale. Margaret's father upheaves her family from her lovely little village in the south of England to the north of England, where it's a little bit more industrial. What I love in particular though about North and South is the family dynamics in this novel. More specifically between Margaret and her father. Her father is a man of the church and he is a scholar, and he treats Margaret with such respect and equality. And considering this novel is set in Victorian England, when family dynamics were a little bit more biased towards men, I just love the friendship and respect between Margaret and her father. Margaret as a character is really feisty and brilliant and really passionate, and I think she shares that with her father. They definitely go through some ups and downs in this book, but what stands true throughout it all is Margaret's relationship with her father and her love for him. Next, we're going back to the present day in Sophie Kinsella's Finding Audrey. So Finding Audrey is Sophie Kinsella's first YA novel. She is the author of the Shopaholic series. And this novel is funny, brilliant, but also really sensitively done. This is about Audrey, who's living with social anxiety. She can't leave the house really. She can't even speak to people outside of her family. And it's all about her kind of progression as she tries to get rid of this anxiety that's not allowing her to properly live her life. What's influential in this novel is her relationship with her family especially. Their mum is very much the matriarch of that family. She definitely rules the roost, but what this puts together is just this really hilarious but really kind of strong family unit. Audrey as a character is really reliant on her family, and you can kind of tell that because most of this novel surrounds family issues. What I really enjoyed about this novel was just the close-knit nature of Audrey's family, and this really reminded me of my family in the way that we kind of stick together and how your family can get you through some really tough times. And you know what? I think that's more epic than romantic love. Next up, I really want to talk about friendship, because friendship is one of those things that can be so influential to your life, in the sense that if you fall out with a friend, it can have devastating consequences. And also when you make new friends, it adds extra angle to your life. It brings in different things that you never knew you had originally. So in Tahara Mafi's Furthermore, the friendship between Alice and Oliver is just really brilliantly done. It's really moving and it's also very real. Furthermore is a middle grade fantasy novel that's about a world that's just brimful of colour. However, Alice has been born without any colour. Alice is determined to show that she is part of this world. She's determined to prove herself. She's also really determined to solve the mystery of her father's disappearance. So Alice starts this amazing adventure, accompanied by Oliver, who has told her that he can help her explore the land of Furthermore. What we really see is just this blossoming friendship. Alice is 11 years old in this book, and you can kind of just see how influential friendship at that stage is. Oliver and Alice have to rely on each other. They have to trust each other in this world that is kind of unknown and dangerous at times. Alice obviously solves this big mystery. She goes out in pursuit of something, but Oliver's company really helps her. And they learn a lot about each other in the process. And it's all well, you know, friendship in fiction, family in fiction, but what about the real life? Well, I want to talk about Take Courage, Anne Bronte and the Art of Life by Samantha Ellis. This is a non-fiction book just released, and it's about the life of Anne Bronte. The Bronte sisters, as you might know, are three of the most influential women in literature. Charlotte Bronte is most famous for Jane Eyre, Emily Bronte most famous for Wuthering Heights, Anne Bronte probably most famous for The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. However, Anne Bronte has always been the sister that has been kind of swept under the rug a little bit. She's not as popular as her sisters in our current age. And this piece of brilliant non-fiction aims to reassess Anne as someone who was influential in her family life, who was influential in the Bronte sisters' success, and also to highlight just what her relationship was like with her two sisters and her brother. In particular, I would say that the Bronte sisters' friendship is more powerful than their family relationship. They aimed to write novels in an age when women weren't really respected for writing novels. So Take Courage really does focus on Anne, but also the Bronte family as a whole, about how unique these three sisters were and how supportive of each other they were. Also how instrumental in writing their novels they were. They had inspiration from their family dynamic, from the three of them together talking, sharing stories. I think this book also shows how you can be friends, incredibly close friends with your family. And that's another kind of dynamic that I haven't yet talked about, how your family who you've been born into can also end up being some of the closest people in your life and also your closest friends. And in a month swamped with romantic relationships, I'm going to be rereading Take Courage. So platform, do let me know down in the comments, what is your favourite non-romantic relationship in a book? Don't forget to subscribe to Penguin Platform for a new video every Thursday. I have loved being on the Penguin Platform channel this week. And you can follow me over at my channel, which is The Book Belle, on Twitter at Book Belle Reads, and on Snapchat as The Book Belle. Thank you all so much for watching and for sharing the love with me today. Bye!